after 3 straight losses, man, and then followed by a bye week, it looked like the 49ers rejuvenated themselves and got healthy because these boys put on a show, beat the crap out of the Jags 34-3. Didn't let up a touchdown this past week. I mean, for me, I personally, I didn't want to see it, but for their fans, it was a good sight to see. I mean, they came in there, they got 5 sacks on Trevor Lawrence. Their defense didn't let up a touchdown, and they looked healthy and they looked as strong as ever, like they were doing the first couple weeks of the year. So this is a team that everybody again needs to be worried about. They're back on the map as if they never left after those 3 losses. How y'all feel about the 49ers?
For me, it was convincing. It was a cool win. They're going into a hostile environment. Against the Jags, been 6-2 at the time. It was pretty. It was a test, I'll say, for them. But still, at the same time, I want to see it against somebody a little bit more competitive. At home because the Jags have been kind of up and down. They've had a couple good wins, but they haven't been against like really good teams too. I want to see it against somebody a little bit better. It was an impressive win overall for them to stop them and shut them down the way that they did. But I just feel like I need to see a little bit more from them overall.
Unfortunately, we may have to wait a couple weeks for that until Week
Yeah,
13 when they play the
yeah,
Eagles, because the next
exactly.
couple games shouldn't be too hard for them.
That's how I'm feeling. Like it looks good right now, at least especially because Purdy has all his pieces back too as well. Debo's back, Kittle's back, McCaffrey's still looking good too as well. And obviously the defense how it is right now with having Chase and Bosa on the ends, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard for whoever to play that defense overall. But we just got to see how Purdy looks against like really good talent, especially with these colder months coming. Down the stretch too as well. I want to see him in the colder weather stadiums, not in these dome situations or in San Francisco. See how he operates in that, and then see if he can, really get the job done.
Yeah, no. San Francisco's back to where they need to be, at least at full strength on offense. They lost
Uh,
what was it, 3 straight, and obviously they were missing a couple pieces throughout that 3 game losing streak. But adding Debo Samuel clearly must make a large difference. You have to game plan against that entire full slew of weapons that he'll have. But I really want to talk about that defense and Fred Warner, arguably defensive player of the year. I mean, interception, 7 tackles. He's got what 78 tackles on the season, I believe. Couple of 3 interceptions, a couple forced fumbles as well. So, I mean, Fred Warner, I think, is really what keeps this team going. Obviously, 2 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions. Like, obviously Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey easily, another candidate for Offensive Player of the Year, if not the leading candidate for Offensive Player of the Year, even though his streak was ended with Jacksonville, which is kind of funny because, the 49ers would seem like they should have had all the starters on the field. They kept him in the game just to see if he can get that last touchdown. It's like, at least Jacksonville had some sort of pride to not let him get that streak, get the record. So kudos to Jacksonville's having some sort of heart. But, I mean, Fred Warner has that, elite defensive unit firing on all cylinders in Jacksonville, a high-powered offense in their own right. Found out what it means to go up against that San Francisco defense. Kind of shade to the Sunday night debacle with Dallas. So I'm obviously not a fan of the San Francisco 49ers, but them at full strength are a force to reckon with. For multiple weeks we've said that the San Francisco 49ers, at least myself, said that San Francisco is the best team in football, and that's the way that they looked against Jacksonville on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's for sure. They definitely look like one of the best teams in the NFL this past week. But I'm sure that'll continue. They play the Tampa next, and then they play Seattle. But as Wayne said, we need to see them play some real competition. So right after that, they'll have to travel over to Philly, um, who has the best record in the NFL currently. So I can't wait for that game. That'll be fun.